they are paid by the internationals, not by the Somali government. We now only starting the payment. For the first time, we paid 1,500 soldiers. We paid their salary. We started out of 17,000. And we want to continue, add 1,000 more, add 1,000 more, and we want to pay them. But still we're paying the same amount, $100. And for those that are supported by the international, it's not salary, it's a stipend. A soldier, from soldier to the highest officer, a general, is paid with $100. There is no, for the first time, our budget 2013, we put the budget for the security forces and the salaries based on rank. This is the first time that there is a different payment for the soldier and the officer. Before, it's not, and the practices are still there. They are paid $100 for that. Regarding those who died still we keep them in the list, so still they are paid. But that's not enough. We have a lot of orphans for those who have been killed in combat. Their kids are there. We are organizing orphanages and facilities where we take care of those kids. Mahamud, thank you very much for your position of the issue of our neighbors. We have Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Kenya. Djibouti has always been a traditional friend of Somalia. So there has never been a question of relationship or Djibouti. Djibouti, very small country, and they have been with Somalia for all these years. And they have attempted and tried a number of times to support Somalia to get back to its, and sometimes they even go into real danger to do that. Kenya, we have a recent history. Our history with Kenya is 50 years old, starting from 1960s, whatever it is. But with Ethiopia, we have a long, long history. Centuries old, 600 years and more. And the history of these 600 years were not very, very beautiful history. A history of conflict, a history of hate, a history of violence, a history of animosity. But today, in the beginning of 21st century, we believe Somalia and Ethiopia are not neighbors by choice. We didn't choose to be the neighbor of Ethiopia. And they didn't choose to be our neighbor either. So we have only one option, to have a very good relationship. Anything other than that will not help. In this 600 years history, it never helped our people, the people of Somalia and the people of Ethiopia. We have allocated a very important resources to build a military might so that we can challenge our neighbor Ethiopia. And they do the same to challenge Somalia, whereby those resources was very, very important and vital for the service delivery of our people, for the betterment of human capital. This is a time we want to begin reversing that history. And yes, some of those problems have been dictated by the history. We all know the history of the 18th century, what happened when scrambled to Africa, the partition of Africa, the Berlin Conference of 1884, and all this. We know the history. Starting from there, dividing Somalia into different zones of influence, and the Somali government is starting to be there. So that was the history. Now, we want to see it differently, and we want to wear different lenses to see the world. We cannot go and continue on war. I visited Ethiopia recently, and I presented that vision to the government of Ethiopia, leading by the Prime Minister, and they highly welcomed the idea, and they take further steps to prove that this is what they believe. We have established a joint cooperation committee at ministerial level who will work issues of interest among our two countries, including the security, the trade, the economic cooperation, and those. Ethiopia is close to 90 million people, are landlocked. Somalia is at 10 million people with 3,300 kilometers. The only two permanent rivers we use comes from Ethiopian highlands, and so on. There are so many things that can interlink Somalia and Ethiopia peacefully. And I think there are a lot of opportunities that we can develop our two countries. With this, and imagining the entrepreneurial capacity and character of our society, we think we have better off in a real economic cooperation with Ethiopia. And that is the policy. That is the policy we are seeking. And we hope at least that we will get a positive response from our colleagues in Ethiopia. And so far, the response we are getting is absolutely very, very, very positive. When it comes to Kenya, Kenya is the go place for Somalis. When our people was threatened, they ran to Kenya. When our business people wanted to make business and they were unable to do it in Somalia, they took their money and come to Kenya and build Kenya. And Kenya is grateful about that. Recently when I visited President Kibaki was publicly saying that the Somali businessmen, Somali entrepreneurs, they became role model for the Kenyans. And they built part of Kenya. 20 years back, parts of Nairobi was different than they are today. And Somalis not only in bitty trade business, but they are in Kenya, they are all sectors of business. And they make a difference. The same Somalis are doing in Juba, Sudan. They are building. So I think they are good in building the country. So soon we will have new Islis in Mogadishu and new Juba buildings in Mogadishu. That is the essence and the nature of the entrepreneurial character of our society. If they are offered an opportunity and chance, that's what they can prove, and soon we will see. And that's what I was just recently talking about, someone investing the Somalia of today, $100 million. That's a proof of the capability of our people, and we hope we will use that capability. Thank you.
I see many more hands, but we are unfortunately at time. Mr. President, I want to just thank you for fielding so many questions so eloquently and in such depth. Again, we want to congratulate you. We want to work with you in future. And all of us here, I think, on taking advantage of the opportunity and tapping into that entrepreneurial spirit of the Somali people. Thank you very much, and please join me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.